For the men of South Maitland Railways, steam power somehow preserved a way of life lost in time beyond the line. At lunchtime, a steam engine has definite advantages. For quite literally generations, crews had left their locos hissing gently amongst the gum trees while they retired to shanties like the Pelton Hilton for a cuppa and a yarn. Now all this was to be just a memory.
Boss's chair, is it? The boss's chair. You sit there, sir. They can't have two good-looking blokes together. Well, it's been a good job over the years.
It's been more than just a job.
Oh yes, you get very involved, you know. Good blokes to work with, good mates and all that sort of thing.
He finally admitted it.
Hey, finally admitted it.
43 years, isn't it?
Yeah, 43
Well, he
years.
says that he was firing with me for a long while. We go tie up pretty well, Wally and I. He was firing with me for many years. And when he was driving, I think the worst accident they ever had here when they tipped the two engines over that time.
Oh, that's right, you hit some cows.
We were both on it. And my mate Gregory there, he was my fireman.
What was that like?
On that one. Oh, not very good.
Shocking experience. Probably something I will never get over.
Well, at night time too, it made it worse.
Having quite a few problems, still problems from it, but it was a shocking experience. I wouldn't want it again. I don't think anyone would. But
I don't think, you know, that you'd walk out of it again. It was just one of those things that happened, and, you know, if it was going to happen again, probably someone would get killed or something like that.
You're lucky.
Yeah, we reckon we won the lottery. We were better off than if we won the lottery to get out of it.
You got any favourites amongst the engines?
oh yes, everyone's got favourites. Everyone's got favourites. Well, we have one driver on the job. Was all he thinks about is number 10. If they ever cut number 10, I think he'll cut his throat.
What's his attachment to number 10?
Well, he said we could know more about that and go back longer than what I can remember. But
I think that it was because he's, you know, his father on that worked here, and he would have been here when number 10 first came, and there's an attachment there with it. Personally, you know, of all the engines, I think I've got a little bit of an attachment for 17. 17 was the engine that I first ever went out firing on, and also it was the engine I was on the night that they tipped over. And I reckon after walking out of that, it was good to me.
31 was the one I worked on when she went right over. Number 19 was always the top engine.
Number 19 blew up once, didn't it?
Yes,
Oil blew.
yes. And of course we were very lucky there again. Me and Cedric worked on that engine the night before, and the next day she blew up. So again, we were lucky there. So someone must like us. I don't know who, but someone likes us.
You reckon they were a good bit of engineering in the first place? I mean, they date back to, what, 1911, the oldest one, I think.
Colossal. You know, they were well ahead of their time when they were designed. And, you know, right through the life of steam locomotives, they've always been, you know, well up to the mark. So it's sad to think even now that if they go, you know, that there's a lot of life left in them yet, in, you know, my opinion. And you've got they work on the coal fields, they're using the coal fields products, coal and water, and it's just sad to think that they're going.
How do you think the diesels will cope? Do you think steam has still got some advantages?
I think, you know, the diesels have got it over steam in comfort to work on, things like that. But you never get the attachment for the diesel that you do for the steam. Steam engine is you know, it's a test of your talents, the fireman's talents to keep the steam and all that. It's a test of skill, whereas, you know, diesels are. That's right. It's like driving a motor car. You've got a good motor car there. Well, it does everything for you. You just steer it, and, you know. But there's a lot of skill in steam locomotive, especially for a fireman.
How old were you when you started?
15.
Who's been on the line the longest of all the drivers?
Of the drivers I have, of the drivers. Jackie Windsor, he's a shed driver now. He went off the main line of the shed drivers. He started here a year before me. He's a shed driver now. They've improved the engines quite a bit. We used to have little kerosene lights, little light on the front that, you know, you couldn't tell from the cab whether they were a light or they weren't, on either end, front and back. Kerosene light to see your water with in the boiler, and as for the rest of it, it'll just glow from the firelight. Now we've got all that, it's illuminated by lights. In the peak, they run 25 trains a day on this railway. You'd be going working 24 hours, you know, round the clock. Trains running all the time. I think in the heyday there was 23, 24 ships a day were swinging out of Logo. Most of those done 2 trips.
When those boilers go cold, it'd be quite a wrench for you.
I think that's, you know, as I said, after 43 years, I suppose you've had a pretty fair innings. Although I haven't reached the age of 60 yet, well, I'm not that far off it. That looks like it for me, but we felt very concerned about the younger chaps on this job. They're a good type of chap, you know, on this job. Most of them left school, started here, and they're not, you know, they stay in the job, do their job well, and they're the ones that I really feel, you know, sorry for.
It must be a bit tough for you. I suppose you looked ahead to staying with steam for a while when you took the job.
A bit of a surprise when it happened. We've all been, you know, in a way we've been thinking it could happen, but when it did happen, it was quite a shock.
Yeah. You're a bit sorry you never really got to eventually move up to driving them?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What do you do now?
That's a good question. The recession, who knows? See what happens. I'd like to stay in the industry if I could somewhere, but...
Yeah. Steam trains always had a special fascination for the young. And even today, the instantly familiar sooty smell is enough to trigger childhood memories of anyone who grew up with steam. But for at least the last 15 years, few youngsters in Australia have had the chance to hear a steam engine puffing out its determined chant, or to simply stare in awe as it stood hissing and mumbling at a station. But the children who've lived by the South Maitland line until now have had these memories, and they say they'll miss the familiar sounds. Many, like David Foster, carried secret dreams of one day standing behind the throttle of one of those engines which had rumbled past their homes for so many years.
Ever since I was about 8-year-old.
Been coming over for 10 years.
Yeah.
Must have got to know them all, I suppose, haven't you?
Yeah, I know all the blokes that work here and that, yeah.
Do you think you might drive one yourself one day?
Well, I was hoping to get a job here, and when the place started to go backwards and that, there was sort of no more hope of that.
You're a bit sorry to see them stop?
Yeah, well, I've been going past my place for that many years now, and they used to keep you up at night, but, you know, it'd be sad to see them go and that.
There's no